What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. Chances are you've heard that hundreds, or if not thousands of times, and it's something a lot of people will say in chat when I start a stream or whatever, or I've seen in comments many times, and I never really even realized I said that all the time until people started bringing it up at one point over the years, and now I'm kind of all in. It is definitely a part of me. So this video is unscripted. It's from the heart. It's I might throw some pictures in somewhere, but otherwise unedited. Today is August 6th of 2025, and today we celebrate 15 years of JayShockblast. I started this channel 15 years ago today. I was 29 years old. I was just starting a new job at Bose. I honestly, if you told me where would I be 15 years later, I would have told you still at Bose because I loved working there. I did not know what I was getting into. I in 2010, you didn't aspire to be a YouTuber. You just made YouTube videos. It was different then. It's been amazing and crazy and wild to see everything change over the years. And like most things, in those 15 years, I've certainly got older. My beard is grayer. I'm slowing down. It is what it is. But I wanted to make a video today because I feel like 15 is such a big number, especially for something like this. And I wanted to tell the story of JayShockblast and maybe throw some appreciation out there for some people. As I've gotten older, I've come to understand that, this isn't going to be forever, and I don't have an exit strategy, and I'm not saying that I'm leaving anytime soon, but boy, is it harder and harder today to do things. And I always kind of did it for fun back then. I never thought it would be a career. I never looked at it as being a career. For the first 6 years I had the channel, I was working full-time at Bose, and honestly, those 6 years make up a lot of my biggest videos. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Lego Marvel Superheroes, a lot of that early Lego stuff, the Transformers stuff. People don't realize that there are different eras of me, and different parts where certain game there are people that found me for wholly different reasons. I think a lot of people think of me mostly for Lego, but I started this channel and 9 of my first 10 videos were Battlefield Bad Company 2 videos. That's why I started the channel, for a couple reasons. First of all, I've been in the content creation business for over 25 years, okay? Before there was JayShockblast, which originally the channel was called ShockblastMedia, okay? I did concert photography, I interviewed bands, I wrote album reviews, I had websites I wrote for. There were a lot of other things I did. I was the music director at my college radio station, WSCW. And from there, I wrote on a website with a couple friends that was called the undergroundscene.net. In its time, it was a pretty sizable website. I got a lot of amazing opportunities, interviewing pretty much all my favorite bands. But that was more of a hobby, okay? I found a way to work for a living and go to concerts for free most of the time, and get the best seat in the house, feet in front of the band taking pictures. And I got to hang out with them and interview them and talk about their albums and ask really stupid questions. And that was good enough for me until I transitioned a little bit. The underground scene got shut down. I had a friend, DJ, who had a website, Thrash Mag. So I kind of started doing stuff with them. And then a former friend at this point, that I worked with at a DirecTV sales job, talked about the website he wrote for, which is called Analog Hype. And I went there, and that kind of changed everything because I got to dabble in video gaming, which is something I always did and loved, but not something I ever thought, oh, I want to write about video games. And that's where I met one of my best friends in life, DJ Chrome. Adrian, I've had the fortune of meeting twice, and honestly, to this day, we don't talk as much as we used to, but one of the most influential people in my life, one of the honestly best dudes I've ever known, and a great dad. So I think that's probably the thing he's most proud of that I just said. And for a couple of years we did stuff, and I was happy, and they let me still do my music thing, even though I was like basically the only white person on the website, and it was very much a hip hop website. Certainly that was the vibe. That's what they were going for originally, but I feel like I helped them gain traction in other areas, especially in gaming. Then one of the other co-owners of the website, I guess he was he was gone for a couple years in overseas at a job and didn't keep up with the site, and he showed up and was basically like, nah, we're not doing any of this, and did not basically make me feel like I was welcome. So I started a new website on my own. I'd never done it before, didn't know what I was doing, and I called it ShockblastMedia. And I was doing it with my brother, who always wanted to do it and just didn't really know how. And that other person that brought me over to Analog Hype, and I don't know when he stopped being my friend, but he like basically blocked me out of his life, probably out of bitterness and jealousy. But as we started doing the Shockblast stuff, I noticed more and more that after like the first week or two, he was getting into his bad habits again and wasn't really contributing. And one of the things that I would do is I would go over to his house, and most of those early Battlefield videos that you see, I recorded at his house, and it just took him forever to get me the video. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get a Halpage HD PVR, because that's what was available at the time when you walked into a Best Buy and wanted a capture card. Didn't know what I was doing, figured it out, couldn't record any voice, certainly didn't have a camera for a few years. And then one day that dude basically decided he's going to go work on another website because they were bigger and would give him better opportunities. And I will never forget that. I will never forget the way he said that to me. And I think about it often when I think about all the success I've had, and when I get all these opportunities, and then my brother kind of fizzled out. So like, it was just me. All right. So I shut down the website and said, the videos are doing good. The videos are doing well. I'm happy with it. We'll do this. Now, here's the thing. In the early 2010s, okay, it was the Wild West. I had no idea I could monetize my videos. I kept getting all these emails from these partner agencies like, oh, partner with us and we could do this. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a scam. It was not a scam, and Chrome actually helped me one day. He's like, dude, you're getting approached by Broadband TV. I've been trying to get with them for a while. So I finally said yes. And when I got my first YouTube check, wow. Okay. Keeping in mind I was working full time, and I just happened to like get that first check through Broadband TV, and I'm like, I think it was like $1,300, okay, for half a month. And I was like, wait, I could have been getting this for the last 2 years? Because it was like, I think it was 2013 before I even monetized. I probably left tens of thousands of dollars in YouTube's pocket, so you're welcome. But, I didn't have a plan, right? And I've lived through so many YouTube algorithm changes, and it's wild. But Lego Star Wars, The Clone Wars, is where my love for Lego gaming kind of started. And I noticed that those videos did really well. So I'm like, well, I'm going to play all the Lego games. and I started doing it, and before I knew it, like it was crazy. And like I want to be very careful because I don't want to like say too many names because I don't want anybody to get hurt or feel like I left them out or feel lesser than. Because there was a bunch of other people at Analog Hype that I love to death, but Chrome is definitely the one that I consider him one of my best friends, even though we don't talk as much as we used to. But there's been a lot of people along the way that have really kind of helped me, because you don't get to 340,000 subs by yourself. You just don't. All right. I don't know how other people run their business. I don't even know how to run my own business. I'm awful at being a business person, right? Like, I get these collab opportunities, like, oh, what's your rate? I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to pay me? I never know what to say. And I will say Sadat the Gamer, another friend that I've met through all of this, has, in his ways, mentored me on how to handle those situations a little bit better. I'm always thankful for him, but we'll talk more about him later. I think about games that changed my life, and Battlefield Bad Company 2, obviously one of them. Like I said, a lot of my early videos were that. It wasn't about getting views. It was just I wanted to show gameplay, And some of those videos are like boring, not even our best matches, but I didn't know anything about streaming back then, and I just recorded what I could and put it up because we did it, we were having fun. And I think about, there's this group, they were called the Outlaw Army, and it was like a clan, and I played with them early on, and they were really a lot of fun, and that's how I met this guy named Wallenstein, okay? And I'm sorry, he got so close to 100,000 subscribers making Destiny lore videos, and I really wish he got that plaque. But he was odd. Like, I've met him in person. We met at PAX West in 2014. Went to a Mariners game, and like, I just love that era of Battlefield. He was, with Battlefield 6 about to come out, like, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. He was honestly one of the best Battlefield players in the world, no doubt about it. He even took part in that Xbox, when Xbox One came out, they did a U.S. versus the world thing where it was Major Nelson had the U.S. team and AC Bongos had the European team, I think it was, and they played each other in Battlefield 3 on Xbox One before Xbox One was out, and I think he was one of the 3 like MVPs of the whole series, if you will. So like, he was sick, and I don't know if he still plays much. I mean, we're friends on like Instagram and stuff and chat every once in a while, but like, I think back to like that, like some of my early like Battlefield videos that he's very prominent in, and just the groups of people I got to play with. And then of course we kind of transitioned more into Lego gaming, but my thing has always been I wanted to just play the games I wanted to play, and YouTube, like, they don't like that, right? Like right now my channel is just, it doesn't know what to do with a 15-year-old channel that has done everything. They want you to get in this little small box and stay there. But Lego gaming changed my life for sure. And I've been very fortunate to meet some of the people from TT Games, especially Arthur Parsons, who very personally has messaged me and been there for me, whether it be the Lego games or his new Funko Fusion with 1010 Games. One of the best people I've met at a studio, ever. And all the Lego people I've ever met have been so great. And I think about how all the great memories Pack Attack 04082 is, nobody's ever heard his voice. He's never talked on his videos. He never puts his picture in them. But let me tell you, him and I have books worth of messaging back and forth over the years. And there's another guy, he now goes by Disney Dan, but he was Bricks to Life back then. We used to have this DM open where we just helped each other get through a lot of those guide videos, even though we were competing with each other. I mean, Pack Attack, I think, has like 5 million subscribers, and I think with like Lego Marvel 2 and Lego DC Supervillains, he was the first one to get a platinum on one of them, and I was the first one to get a platinum on the other one. We were always kind of competing for that, but it was such a great friendship that we just like. And Pack Attack still keeps up with me. He's left social media, just makes his videos and everything, but we still talk all the time. Like Funko Fusion, we were helping each other out in the DMs and stuff like that. So, those are some really important people. And Blitzwinger too, man. Like I met Blitzwinger at E3 2017. We did an event together on the WB streams. Like, some of those, like, you think about competition, but then you see that these are all just like great people, and we've always been able to be there. And I really appreciate those friendships I made through that. But I think a lot of people mostly know me for the Lego gaming stuff, and I'm just so thankful. And obviously, around 2019, things changed there. Okay, and I don't know what's going on over there, but we've only had one game. The Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and that's obviously hurt my channel. Is the fact that they used to put out content very often. Okay, like 2 or 3 major releases a year. And when Lego Dimensions was happening and Lego Worlds was happening, there was stuff all the time, and I was feasting off of it because I loved making those videos. I enjoyed making those videos. I made Lego videos for franchises I didn't even like. I never cared about Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Wasn't a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, but I still put videos up because I loved the Lego format. And a lot of times people will ask me, oh, what do you think of The Hobbit? I'll say, listen, everything I know about The Hobbit I learned from Lego games. So that's kind of how I feel about that. But there's no doubt about it. Like, I would not be sitting here in this house without Lego. I call it the house that Lego bought. I've had a lot of success and been able to really do things I never thought I'd ever be able to do because of this channel, and honestly because of you guys, the viewers. I could not do this without you. And I just want to say thank you. Like 15 years is a long time, and there are absolutely some people that have been there for almost all 15 of them. And again, I don't want to say too many names because I don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt. But like, I've always tried to just play the stuff that I enjoyed. If it involved Marvel or Star Wars or DC or anything like that, I always played those games. And some of them have been amazing. Some of them have flopped completely, but I still tried to enjoy them and make content that I thought people would want to see and make content that I enjoyed. And I feel like YouTube hates that. And as the channel has gotten older, it's gotten so much harder. And, I feel some kind of way sometimes, but, just the opportunities that I've had, Marvel Heroes, a lot of people know me for that game. Marvel's Avengers wasn't the best game ever, but a very influential game because, through Doomkiller, I met Sadat the Gamer, and now we've got a podcast together, and I feel like I feel like I've been very attached to him in a lot of ways, and I've been so proud of watching his growth and him become one of the great YouTubers. And I always saw it in him too. Like, I think he only had like 5,000 subscribers when I really started to be like, hey man, let's work together, because I knew he was going to be great, and he is. And I love that. I've loved watching him grow. I've loved watching him. I've loved becoming a friend with him. I know this is kind of cheesy for him, but like my career has been so crazy, and that E3 trip was so world changing for me, because the first thing, up until then, I really didn't talk to different studios or anything like that. I just went to the store, I bought my game, I played it, I recorded it, and so many things have happened since that E3 2017 trip, and a lot of people talk about, oh, you're just a shill and blah blah blah. But WB Games, man, like changed my life. Like, it's not even just the Lego games. It's Mortal Kombat. It's Injustice. I've gotten to go to NetherRealm Studios, I think 2 or 3 times. I've been to WB Games Montreal. I've been to WB Games Boston. I've been to DC Comics. You know, I've been to the Warner Brothers lot. I've literally seen where the Animaniacs live, the famous WB Tower, and like, so yeah, I want to see their games do well. I met Alan, Cammy, Jordan, Kelly, and probably a lot of other people that I should know the name of, and I should mention here. And they're some of the best people I've ever met. And yeah, like, I wanted Suicide Squad to do well, and I obviously admitted that it didn't when it started to falter, and they couldn't keep up with it. And I always feel like I'm honest, but yes, I want video games to do well, you know, and it's because I love video games and I want more of them. Are those games there are some decisions that like I question too, you know, and I do question it, but I think people only see what I'm defending, and that's fine. I'll wear that. I don't care. I'm easier to please than some people, but I I don't think it's because I owe anything to them, and it's certainly not because they're paying me any money. But I don't have to like gloss any of their games to like get future opportunity. They're gonna do it because they trust me to give a fair opinion and to follow the rules. And I feel like that's where I've gotten ahead over the years is I have built a brand around trust. And these people, you know, they see it, they know they can trust me, they know I'm not gonna like leak things, and they know I'm gonna give an honest opinion. And I've given plenty of opinions that are negative, not just about WB, but a lot of different studios. I've worked a lot with 2K, obviously. You know, just the fact that I got to go to the Royal Rumble, you know, is amazing. I'm just at a point now where I understand I'm on the downward trajectory of my career. I'll be 45 in October, and let's face it, this is a young man's game. I feel different about like, you know, some of the relationships we build, and realizing just how much older I am than some people. I mean, there are some of you I'm old enough to probably be your grandfather, but maybe not that completely yet, but definitely your father. And I think about it sometimes that I've never really considered age, you know, like when you work in like the retail world, you'll have people from, you know, 16 all the way to like 70, you know, so you just become friends with your coworkers, right? Well, I became friends with other creators, with people that became my mods. Like, and I don't want to name any one mod because they're all so special to me. And I don't choose them lightly, and I've been through a lot with them, and I don't want to not say somebody. I will mention Otter, because he has been my longest member on YouTube, 80 months, which is insane to me. And obviously I'll mention Free Willy Rocks because I just actually got to meet him in New York City. And I think about all these things. I'm like, you know, here's a person down south, here's a person in England, and there's people all over the world. And I'm like, man, I've known these people for years, you know? And that's what I think this has all been about to me. I try to make everything personal. And it's been an experience. It's been a journey. I have some notes up ahead. I would be remiss if I also didn't mention Caboose and Uncaged Games, because I went to an event for Lego DC Supervillains, and that was like my second ever event other than E3, and I didn't know anybody. Didn't know a single person there, and I knew who Caboose was. I didn't know Uncaged Games, but they really went out of their way to make me feel included, and I never forget that. I never ever forget that. okay? And I've had the opportunity to meet them at other Mortal Kombat events, and Suicide Squad, and PAX East, and Gotham Knights, and just we've crossed paths so many times since then. We were sitting in a Toys R Us, just the three of us, in Montreal, when Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman dropped the Deadpool tweet, and literally recorded a reaction video right there in the middle of a Toys R Us. And those two guys have always looked out for me, and they're substantially younger than me, but they've always been really good people, and I really appreciate the friendship I've built with them as well. I've built so many friendships through this, and I do also want to mention one other thing. Elgato, okay? It says it right here, okay? Powered by Elgato. That has been in thousands of my videos. Miguel from Elgato is honestly one of the most important people I've ever met. He also has looked out for me in ways he didn't have to do. He stole Mookie Betts from me, but it's worth it because, like, he's called me when he's seen me, like, down, like, he's reached out to me, as a friend. And he's a really good worker. He's really good at what he does. And, Michael, who I work with now through Elgato, has always been good to me as well. But Miguel, I'll tell you, Julian, if you see this, you pay that man every dollar that he needs, because he reflects your product so well. And it's not just the product, it's the people, it's the person. He's one of those very unique people I've met through everything that has really helped me in, like, so many ways, like, ways he didn't have to. And I'm the type of person that likes to show. I'm getting a little emotional now as I get to the end of this video, which I know is really long, and it's probably a lot to kind of sit through, but, like, 15 years is a long time to do anything. 15 years is a long time to like, be at any job. And I've never really thought of this as a job until I got laid off at Bose, and I was like, well, we'll see what we can do, right? And that's where the real MVP of all of this comes in. And that's my wife. I could not still be here today doing this without her, okay? And she's never been a character, really. She's appeared in, like, 2 or 3 videos maybe, but not like we're very different, and she doesn't really care about anything. She just knows that it means something to me, and we make it happen. I am certainly not in a position anymore to be a full-time creator, but she does really well at her job, and our lifestyle is that, I'm the housewife, basically. So, and she likes it this way. So, like, I've said many times over the last few years, look, I have no problem going and getting back to work, but for now we're pretty happy with this, and we do the most we can with it. You guys have also met 5 dogs over the years, and I thought I would have this earlier in this kind of thing, but you've met Teddy, my best guy. He was my first dog that I had as an adult. He got me through some really lonely times, man. And just when we got this house and we got him the yard to play in, he didn't spend a lot of time here and didn't get to enjoy it. But then we found Thor, the franchise, the logo. You guys, I feel like a lot of you guys that have been here, been around, you got to meet Thor a little bit. And then when my dad passed away, we took in Jigs, which was his dog. And he was a great guy, great to us for a few years. And now we have Evie and Wilson, and they're a bundle of energy. And we love how much they love each other. So, that's our family. And again, my wife Becky, the real MVP. I like I. Oh man, the worst part, I didn't even include my glasses. I was supposed to talk about getting old and put on my glasses, but now I'm like about to start crying. Everybody's like, oh man, yeah, I understand that my time at the top is probably over. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not going anywhere. I can just tell you that I appreciate everything. Every time I get an opportunity, I say to myself, all right, this is going to be the last one. I can't imagine, that I'm going to get anything else from here. And I get surprised again and again. Like, I was supposed to go to that Borderlands Fest in LA, and I go out, I would throw out my back, and I'm still 2 months later having lots of pain and affected by that, and I didn't get to go. And they were great, and they sent me, a wonderful card, which I put somewhere. Listen, I told you, I'm getting old. I'm starting to forget things. Things don't come as quickly as they used to. My response time isn't what it used to be. If you've played Marvel Rivals with me, you know that. And I'm afraid you're going to find that out in Battlefield 6. I used to be a massive tanker, man, but I don't know if I have those quick reflex skills anymore. But seriously, from the bottom of my heart, 15 years of doing anything is a lot. Hopefully we'll get to 20. People tell me all the time, oh, I can't wait for you to get to 500,000 subs or 1,000,000 subs. I understand that that's never going to happen. I understand that the idea that I'm going to get back to growing is tough. And I don't think it's my fault 100%, although I could have a better work ethic. The one thing about being your own boss is you make your own time, and I have not always done that well. And I got to develop some better habits, especially lately. Dealing with Thor being so sick the last few years was tough. I had to give him a lot of attention. We incurred a lot. We took a second mortgage to pay his vet bills. Please get pet insurance. It's worth it. It's not always cheap, but it's put us in a tough spot. Not one we can't get out of, but I want one thing that I finish with saying: I've never asked for your money. People become members, but I don't advertise it. Would I like you to? Yeah, but that's more so I feel that appreciation, which is why I make it so cheap to start. But I'm not somebody that begs for donations, that asks for you to donate. You can do it, but I never know how to handle it. This is going back to me being the worst business owner ever. I've always been, if you just watch the ads, it really helps me. But if you don't, you don't. I can't really do anything. I'm just trying to be the best person I can be. I'm just trying to put up videos I think are interesting. Everything's changed since I started. People like to see it live instead of watching 34-minute videos at this point. And if you've made it this far, I appreciate you. So I don't know what happens next, man. I know that my wife and I have a vacation coming up here, and she'll be going back to school because she's a teacher, and it'll be back to just me and the dogs at home, and hopefully lots more work. Battlefield 6, Borderlands 4, Ghost of Yotai. Those are some games I'm really excited. Some games that I know probably aren't even going to do well for me, but I'm going to cover them anyway because that's who I am. I make genuine content that I would want to watch, that I enjoy. And I appreciate those of you that have given me your time over the years. Hit that subscribe button, hit that become a member button. And we're going to take this until the wheels fall off. So I've taken up enough of your time. I don't know how I could have fit all of that in any shorter, but I just want to say thank you. I want to end because, like, I have almost 350 million views in the last 15 years of making videos, and you, the viewer, have given me opportunity to do things I could have never dreamed of. And I just am so thankful. And I hope that more than anything, I've been able to bring you a little bit of happiness or joy, or helped you find the thing you were looking for in some way. And that's why I did it. That's why I've always done it. It's harder when you start involving money because, like, yeah, it's tough to look at those numbers go down, but we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. And if it means I go back to working and doing this, on the side, that's what we do. So here's to hopefully getting to 20 years. My goal at this point in my life is hopefully someday we'll get to 400,000 subs. I think that's probably the most I can hope for, unless some other game just pops off soon. I don't see any other way. It took me longer, or it was faster to get to 100,000 than it was to get to 200,000, and it's faster to get to 200,000 than it was 300,000. And maybe that's my fault. I always like to make it about the games and not about me. It's why I never have a face cam on whenever I'm recording, like, gameplay videos. I mostly only do it for the live stream, but yeah, man. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I never thought this would be me, but I guess you never do until it's happening to you. That is Boy Sets Fire, Rookie. Thank you. I love you all. Let's keep this thing going.